Hey guys, this is Muzzmind. Today we're going to be doing a video where I will be doing my Premier League predictions for the 2018-19 season. I didn't do it last year, didn't get around to doing it. Sorry also I haven't had lots of videos out for you guys recently, but we will be getting back to uploading normally. We'll be uploading at least once or twice a week. Try and maybe get even more, maybe 3 times a week. We'll see how it goes. So, I'm going to predict for you guys today how I think the Premier League table is going to look at the end of the season, who may be the Golden Boot, who's going to get the Golden Boot, most assists, and the Golden Glove, which is the most clean sheets for the goalkeeper. Right, so starting off in 20th, I think Huddersfield. Now, the reason I think Huddersfield will finish 20th is because they haven't, developed their squad enough, Huddersfield. I will explain all of these, by the way. Don't get around to that. I'll get around to that. So 20th, I think, Huddersfield. Now, the problem with Huddersfield, I think, is if we look at their signings, they've signed Ben Hamer on a free. Sobby is not a proven Premier League player. I don't think he's that good. That's why he didn't shine at Stoke much. Lerzel, I think it's a good signing because he helped Huddersfield so much last season. Kongolo is a decent defender. Eric Durham's a good, solid fullback. Juninho Bakuna, I don't know who that is. Diakabe, I don't know who that is. But I think what they really needed was an out-and-out striker. And they haven't gone and done that. They haven't bought, like, a big name. They've got Depoitre and Mounier. Don't get me wrong, they're decent strikers. But are they going to be able to carry them next season? No, I think. Tom Ince, that I think is a terrible decision to get rid of it. It obviously was part of the deal for Sobby. But to lose someone like Tom Ince, I think Tom Ince was a very, very good player. He's only spent one season there, and he was a good player, so I think that's a bad decision. So I think Huddersfield will come 20th. Next up, 19th, I think Cardiff City. Cardiff, don't get me wrong, Cardiff had a great season last year in the Championship, but they haven't developed their squad enough. They've brought in Alex Smithies, QPR goalkeeper. Not really a Premier League quality goalkeeper, if I'm going to say that. Every other team, I think, in the Premier League, like Bournemouth, have got Begovic, Watford, Ben Foster, Newcastle, Dubravka. These are all Premier League quality goalkeepers. Alex Smithies and Etheridge, I think their other keeper is, not a proven Premier League goalkeeper. Greg Cunningham from Preston, not so sure about this one. Josh Murphy from Norwich, I reckon he could do decent for Cardiff. Bobby Reid, I think he'll light it up for Cardiff this season. I think he'll be their best player by far. I think that's a very good signing. And Victor Camarasa, I'm not too sure about this player from Real Betis, but he could do something. And currently, as I'm recording this, as you can see in the bottom right, it's almost 4:30, and the transfer window is ending in about half an hour, and I think Harry Arter's going to Cardiff, so that is a decent signing. But again, they haven't got, like, their whole squad isn't Premier League quality, so I think they will come 19th, unfortunately. In 18th, I actually think Bournemouth, don't get me wrong, have got a really good team, a decent team. I just don't think they've developed the squad enough. Again, like, defensive wise, Diego Rico's he looks like a decent defender. David Brooks, not sure about this one, and Jefferson Lerma. I think Lerma could be a decent player for them. He signed on a 5-year deal for about 25 million. Is he going to be what they're looking for? I don't think he is, to be honest. I think Bournemouth might struggle. I think they've got some good players with Callum Wilson, Begovic, Josh King, Stanislas, people like that. But I don't think they're going to light it up this season in the Premier League, and I think it's going to be disappointing for Bournemouth. I think they're going to come 18th. 17th, I think Watford, it was between these two, but I've gone for Watford 17th. Watford have developed their squad quite a little bit, but I don't think enough to, cement a good position next season. Ben Foster's a great goalkeeper to have after they lost Cardenas on loan. Ben Foster was very good for West Brom, even though they got relegated. Deulofeu, he hasn't really shone at Watford yet, so he signed on a permanent, so that could be decent. And then usually, Mark Navarro, usually you'd think of big names to sign. They haven't signed many big name players, so I think they're going to come 17th. You know, and after selling Richarlison, there's 40 million. I think they've spent probably about 20, which is disappointing, I would say, for Watford fans. You know, when you get rid of a player of quality like Richarlison, you've got to buy someone that's his quality. I know Deulofeu is, but Deulofeu hasn't lit it up in the Premier League. I'm not saying Richarlison has shone completely in the Premier League, but you've got to replace players. Like, when you lose your key player, you've got to replace them well. I don't think Watford have done that, and I don't think they've strengthened the whole squad. But I do think they've got enough to stay up, so I'm going to go 17th for them. 16th, I'm going to go Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton, last season, managed to stay up. It was a good, decent season for Brighton, to be fair. Matt Ryan in goal was fantastic for them. You know, they've made some good signings, like Andone, the striker from... He's from La Liga, from Deportivo. I think that is a fantastic signing. Button and Jason Steele were just goalkeepers because they got rid of Tim Krul and Waltland on loan. So they needed two keepers. They're two not bad keepers. I think they're both championship keepers. So they've got two alright keepers, and then they got Matt Ryan, a fantastic goalkeeper. This player, who was signed for a club record deal. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so don't tell me to. I think he could do decent, to be fair, for Brighton. I've heard of him before. He seems like a decent player. You know, they've also brought in Balogun. I've heard of him. He's a good player. Bernardo Fernandes de Silva from Leipzig. He's a good player as well. They've brought in some decent players, Brighton. They haven't really let any big names go. You know, Sidwell's been released. Hunter Meyer's gone on free. Tim Krul went on a free. Baldock went to Reading. You know, they haven't really let go of any of their key players, which is good for Brighton. So I think they're going to come 16th. In 15th, it's my team, Newcastle United. Don't get me wrong. I love Rafa Benitez. Honestly, Rafa Benitez is a great manager. But we haven't spent enough money, and that is down to Mike Ashley once again not giving us the funds. Last season, for staying in the Premier League, I think we got like 130 million. Surely, he said every penny generated from transfers gets put towards us. We've spent like 15 million. 22 came off Mitrovic, which can eventually rise to 27. 10 off Marino. You know, 7 off Mbemba. 3 off Matt Sells. You know, 3 million off Adam Armstrong. Surely he can pump that money into the club. Obviously not. He doesn't want to. It's getting ridiculous, guys. So Martin Dubravka was signed him on a permanent. I'm thankful that we did. I think also we've got two other good goalkeepers. Rob Elliott's a very solid, proven Premier League goalkeeper, and Darlow is another good goalkeeper, so I'm happy with our goalkeeper options. Ki Sung-young, I went to watch the Augsburg friendly. Ki Sung-young looked like a brilliant addition to our squad. So I think Ki Sung-young could do pretty well for us. Kennedy on loan again. I'm really happy with that. Kennedy did really well when he played for Newcastle in the last part of last season. Fabian Schär. This one, I'm not so sure about. I watched him in a friendly. He didn't look too... I mean, you can't judge him off that. But I just don't think he's going to be a good signing. If he was worth more than 3 million, he would be a good defender. But obviously, because he's worth 3 million, he's obviously not the greatest of defenders, so I don't think that's a good signing. Muto as well, I'm not sure he's going to turn out into being the striker we're hoping for. I'm thinking he's going to be a decent backup. You know, he might get 4 goals, 4 or 5 goals, not the greatest like Gale and Hoslu got last year. But he's not going to light it up for 10 million. I think that's a problem. And also, Newcastle, we still haven't broken our record transfer. I do sound very annoyed here, guys. I am. We haven't broken our record transfer, which was from, 10 years ago when Michael Owen signed for Newcastle for 16 million. And then here's Bournemouth and other teams paying 25 million for players. We can't even break our record transfer. It's ridiculous, guys. Rondon, though. I think this is a fantastic signing. Gales went out on loan to West Brom. He's went the other way. To be honest, I didn't think Gale should have been loaned out, I thought he could have been another good option up front, but I wouldn't have wanted him to start. So we've got Rondon, a very good... I think Rondon will do very well for us. I reckon Rondon could get about 10 or 11 goals. I think he'll do very well. He's been trusted with the number 9 shirt as well. Let's hope he lives up to the name of that. Yep, because worn by Gale, Alan Shearer, Les Ferdinand, Andy Cole. Pretty sure Andy Carroll wore it as well. Papi Cisse, you know, all these strikers. Well, Dwight Gale in the Championship was good. But hopefully he can wear that shirt with pride and he can get us a lot of goals and hopefully save us this season. So that's why I've put us in 15th, because I just don't think we've made enough signs. Also, I think Federico Fernandez is having a medical. I'm happy about that. Federico Fernandez is a good defender. We maybe have needed a fullback. I know, because we've got Manquillo, we've got Yedlin and Dummett as our main fullbacks. Dummett left back, he's alright, but he's not an outstanding Premier League fullback. Yedlin is probably our best fullback. He's very good going forward, Yedlin, don't get me wrong. But defensively, he's alright, you know, but he's very quick as well. So, and Manquillo can play either side, so he's versatile. So that's alright. But we kind of needed another left back or right back, mainly a left back, I think. And then transfers we've let go. You know, we haven't let go many players, but when we haven't spent enough. Right, so 14th. I'm going to go with Southampton. Southampton didn't do loads of business, but I think they'll definitely have a better season under Mark Hughes this season. They've signed Angus Gunn, Elyounoussi, the right back from Basel, Stuart Armstrong, midfielder from Celtic, and Vestergaard, the defender from Borussia Mönchengladbach. So they've made some good defensive signings, because that's where they were lacking. But I think striker-wise, they got Long, Austin, and Gabbiadini. Shane Long, don't rate him. Carrillo they've loaned out. Tadic, that was a big mistake, I think, letting him go and loaning out Buffal and loaning out Jordy Classy. I think also another... Yeah, so I think they needed a striker. They've showed up the defence a little bit, which is better, though. So that's why I think it could come 14th. 13th, you may be surprised with this one. I've actually gone with Burnley. Now, the reason I've gone with Burnley is I think they haven't developed their squad well enough, but I think they'll be around that mid-table-ish point. And with them having Europa League as well, they'll have a bit of a distraction from the league. They'll have a few tired players, they might have to rotate a bit more. But they've made some... Alright, Joe Hart is a decent goalkeeper. Because Tom Heaton and Pope are injured, which is not good for Burnley. But they've done well to get a goalkeeper. Vidra is a very good Championship player, don't get me wrong. Premier League, not so sure. Ben Gibson, I like Ben Gibson a lot. I think he could be a decent defender. But I think going forward, Burnley needed more, maybe, on the wingers. You know, because they got rid of Arfield on the wing, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So I think they might have needed a bit more on the wing. But they do have Nkudu, Lennon, Goodmanson. They've got some decent wingers, but I think going forward, they might have needed a bit more. In 12th, I've gone for Wolves. Wolves, absolutely outstanding season in the Championship. Last year, winning the league. They've made some very, very good signings, I'll tell you that. Adama Traore. Willy Bolly on a permanent. Diego Jota on a permanent. Bonatini. João Moutinho, sorry. I think, to be honest, he will do decent. Rui Patricio in goal, that is a brilliant signing. It must have been... I don't know how they got him. Den Donker on loan, that's another fantastic signing. It's a strange one for me, is bringing in a Phobie, then loaning him out straight away, because I think he could do well for Wolves. Raul Jimenez on loan, the striker, could do decent, but a strange one for me is Barry Douglas. On FIFA, he got Team of the Season, and he was a very consistent left-back for them, or left wing-back, in the Championship. Now, to get rid of him, I don't think that's a good decision. But I do think they'll finish a solid 12th position. In 11th, I have Fulham. Fulham, again, have spent a lot of money. Brought in Seri. When I saw they signed Seri, I could not believe this. They beat clubs like Chelsea, Barcelona, Arsenal to him. I could not believe that for 30 million. That's a fantastic signing. Fabry, the goalkeeper from Besiktas. They've strengthened their goalkeeping position after they let go Button, and I think they needed a keeper anyway. Andre Schürrle, for Chelsea, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't fantastic. For Fulham, I think he'll light it up in the Premier League. Mawson is a solid defender for a club like Fulham. After, they've only got one now. If you look at their defence, they've only got one defender from last season, because most of their players were on loan. So they've had to replace their loan players with players they can find with other players, and they've done that well. And Callum Chambers as well, a solid right back. They've also signed Mitrovic on a permanent deal. I think Newcastle, we got a lot of money for Mitrovic. We only bought him for 9 million, so that is some great profit. But is he going to do well for Fulham? I think he will. Right, in 10th, the mid-table position, we're going to go with Palace. Palace have made some decent signs as well. Roy Hodgson led them to a fantastic position. I think it was 11th last year. They've signed Max Meyer on a free. They've signed the goalkeeper from Getafe, Kouyaté. And they're also going, I think they're going for one more player as well. I think there's Jordan Ayew on loan. Now, they've let go Cabaye. I think that's not a very good decision, but they've replaced him with Kouyaté and Max Meyer. So I think they'll have a solid season and come 10th. In 9th, I'm going to go with Leicester City. Leicester City. Well. Selling Mahrez for 60 million. You've got to replace Mahrez. They've done that pretty well, I think. Buying Ghezal from Monaco. I rate this player a lot. I rate this winger so much. On a 4-year deal to sign him for 10 million. For me, that is a bargain of a buy. He's played in the Champions. He's played for Champions Monaco. He knows what it's like to win. I think Ghezal is a fantastic signing. He's gonna lit it up in the Premier League for Leicester City. I think James Maddison. I think 22 million is not a very good signing. Benkovic could be a decent future signing. Johnny Evans at the back, solid defender. Ricardo Pereira is a fantastic player. I think they've done well to keep Harry Maguire as well after his solid World Cup. In 8th, I'm going to go with Everton. Everton have got a new manager in Marco Silva. I do like Marco Silva a lot. Everton haven't, brought in loads of players. They haven't splashed loads of cash on. They haven't spent 100 million. They've brought in Lucas Digne where they needed a left back, I think, and Baines. Baines is a decent backup for Everton, but Lucas Digne will do very well, I think. Richarlison is a very good signing, as Marco Silva brought him to Watford, and I think he just likes to work with Richarlison. And also they're signing Yerry Mina, which will cover the centre-back positions very well, as they got rid of Ashley Williams on loan to Stoke. So, in 7th position, I'm going to go with West Ham United. West Ham got Pellegrini as manager, and honestly, West Ham have got such a good team this season. Just buying new players doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do well. But, look at the players this time. Felipe Anderson, fantastic in the Calcio way. Yarmolenko, Jack Wilshere on a free, Fredericks on a free. Lucas Fabianski, I admire Lucas Fabianski. He's one of my favourite goalkeepers. He's not really highly rated, but he's a fantastic goalkeeper in my opinion. Issa Diop from Toulouse, the defender. Balbuena. Lucas Perez for 4 million. Newcastle looked at him a few years ago. They've really, really developed their squad. They've loaned out Hugh Gale, got rid of Kouyaté, but they've really developed their squad. Pellegrini's done a very good job, so I think West Ham 7th. In 6th, I'm going to go with Tottenham. Tottenham haven't spent any money whatsoever. So I think they needed to develop their squad last year after coming 5th. They haven't. Was it 5th? No, it was 4th. Sorry, 4th. Coming 4th or 3rd, I think. I can't remember. But they haven't really, as I said, developed it, and they needed to develop it. So I think Tottenham are going to struggle coming 6th. In 5th, I'm predicting Chelsea. Under Sarri, not so sure. Getting rid of Courtois is a bargain of 35 million. Jorginho, when I watched him in the Community Shield, he lacked quality. He kept losing the ball in the midfield in dangerous positions. The goalkeeper I think they've signed, I think he'll be fantastic for the future. But now, could be decent. Kovacic I think is a brilliant signing. And Rob Green is a very, very strange one for me. Rob Green is very strange for me. I don't know why they signed him. Loaning out loads of players once again, releasing a few. It's just part of the Chelsea system. So I think they're going to come 5th. In 4th, I've predicted Arsenal. Arsenal. Under Unai Emery, I reckon they're going to get back to Champions League. Look at the signings. Leno, I think, is a brilliant goalkeeper. I've always thought he was a very good goalkeeper. Socrates in centre-back, brilliant for Dortmund. Lichtsteiner on a free. And Lucas Torreira, I think Lucas Torreira, 20 million, he's going to be something special. And they've signed Matteo Guendouzi from Lorient, a youth player. But I do think they've developed the squad well. They've got rid of a few players like Wilshere on a free, Cazorla on a free, where they could have got maybe some money for them. Lucas Perez, but I think Aubameyang, Lacazette, they're going to light the Premier League up this season and they're going to come 4th, Arsenal. In 3rd, I've predicted Man United. Well, I was going between these and Arsenal to come 4th because Man U haven't really developed their squad as much as they should have. They've brought in Fred. I do admire Fred. I think he's a good player. Diego Dalot, I'm not sure about this signing. I've not really heard of him before, but could be a decent player for fullback. Lee Grant, this one is another strange one. I don't know why they bought him as a 3rd keeper because they've got De Gea, they've got Romero, and they've got Pereira, but they loaned out Pereira, so maybe just as a 3rd keeper. But I just don't see him getting played. They sold Daley Blind. I think he wasn't that good. Sam Johnston, sold him. I think Sam Johnston could have been a decent 3rd keeper if they wanted to keep on. And Axel Tuanzebe. But they need to develop their squad a bit more, Man U. There's been lots of rumours that Martial and Rashford were going to go and they didn't. But are they going to get game time? I don't think so. How are they going to get game time? Because they all play left mid. You've got Sanchez, Martial and Rashford there. Right mid. They could slot in right mid maybe, but this one I'm not sure. I want you to let me guys know if you think Man U have had a good transfer window down in the comment section below. In 2nd though, I've gone for Liverpool. Liverpool have probably had the best transfer window so far. Naby Keita, 50 million. It's a big spending, but Naby Keita is a fantastic midfielder. He's kind of a bit of a box-to-box player, ball-winning midfielder, but you can also get forward, I think. Fabinho as well, fantastic. I think he's a good ball-winning midfielder. He's not going to be necessarily amazing going forward, but I think defensively, Fabinho is going to be very good. Shaqiri is a very good signing, I think, as a backup player especially. You know, it adds more depth to the winger positions of Salah and Mane. Is he going to get played a lot? I'm not sure. I don't know how Klopp's going to work that out. And then goalkeeper. This was a big talking point about Karius after his disastrous Champions League errors. But they've done well signing Alisson Becker from Roma. 67 million though, a lot of money, but he's kind of worth it. He's one of the best goalkeepers now in the world. Not the best, I'd say one of the best. So they've done well to get a world-class goalkeeper. Mignolet and Karius. I think Karius now, backup keeper, he'll be decent. But just, he's never going to be the same after that Champions League game. I feel sorry for him, to be honest. And Mignolet, I'll probably feel sorry for him. He's probably not going to get played, so he'll probably go out and loan somewhere else. And then to win the league, I have got Manchester City. Man City have done well signing Mahrez, but I just think Pep Guardiola's team are too strong and they're going to win it this season again. So guys, let me know down in the comment section below whether you think, well, who you think will win the Premier League, who you think will get relegated. If you think I've made some dodgy decisions on where I'm putting the positions of the teams, like where I think they're going to be. But also, we're not done yet. Golden Boot, I think Aguero. I predicted Aguero or Lukaku to get it last year. Fortunately, I was wrong on that one. And I think assists, Sane. I think Sane, you know, how he didn't get picked for the World Cup is beyond me. But less of that now. And Golden Glove, I think Ederson will win it. De Gea's World Cup wasn't that good. But De Gea's going to come second or third like he always does. And I think Man City are just going to be too strong again this year. Right, so that is the end of this Premier League predictions video. If you have enjoyed this video, please drop a like on the video. Also, last video, if you didn't vote, there was a poll on my video saying what you want my next gaming video to be. It was between Newcastle, It will be FIFA 18 Newcastle United career mode, Rocket League or Fortnite, so go vote that now. The voting I will probably end by tomorrow, and I will start recording a video for it. So guys, we're going to have Newcastle vlog out Saturday or Sunday. I'll be going to the Tottenham game, taking you guys with me on the vlog. So yeah, that is the end of this video, guys. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.